This person that was caught in this whole world, of the suit and tie guy, and working these long hours and having all of these policies, procedures, manuals, everything that I was really like, I was busy job, in my mind, my thoughts, my ego, all of those things got trapped. I went to a place called Standing Rock, and there we had no water, no electricity, no toilets, we didn't have all of the conveniences that we have, that we're so accustomed to. But the beautiful thing is we weren't alone because we had each other, right? Just like this, we had each other. Everyone, different colors, different backgrounds. Can you imagine when your fire came through and all your electricity was out, all your water went out? Did any of you guys kind of freak out when that happened? Last year when all of the toilet paper was gone, did you guys freak out about that a little bit? When all of the stores start going out of the things that the elderly needed, and the children, the babies needed, and the medicines, and we're thinking, what the hell, how are we going to survive? What would we do in that situation? We came together with different skills. Everyone had skills. Even if your skills was digging with a shovel, little hole for the poop, the compost toilets, then that was sanitary, because we had to have a place to go. So everyone has a skill, everyone has ability. We need everyone to work together. And that's what we learned there. We put our differences aside. At one time there was a part of camp was over here, another camp was over here, another camp was over there. Guess what? Who was called upon to do some work? I was really honored to go there and to pull people together with prayer, with song, with their elders. And we marched up to the front lines together. Imagine, you hear all that banging going on? Imagine that's what we're walking into. Militarized police force, ready to shoot you, ready to violate you, whatever. We have no idea. But if you look to your left and to your right, and here we go, we're going up there right to the very front line. All of us, elderly, children, men, women, and we're leading the way right here with this drum. That's where we're going. That's the faith. That's the strength and the power. Because when I looked, they put me up there in the front and center. I have a whole big story on how that happened. It scared the hell out of me. But an elderly woman said, "Hey, you got a drum?" And I said, "Yeah." "Well, get up here. You get right here in the middle." I said, "Oh, shit." So these guys said, "Okay." All these horses start pulling up. People with big staffs and horses, they all start lining up. And we all form a big line. And I'm right here in the middle. Oh, my heart was like, oh, shoot. But you know what? I looked to my left, I looked to the right, and I looked behind me. I seen all these people. And that brought me courage that I have a responsibility. So I really think, what song am I going to sing to help us, to protect us? And that's when we come back to these songs. Because they have medicine, they have strength, they have spirit of this land. These songs do. These medicines do. If we believe in it in that way. So I was honored to lead, to be there, and to help. The hopes was to create what you would call like an eco-village. You know, those of you guys, everyone knows what an eco-village is? Volunteers, anybody? All right, well, basically, without food or water, electricity, all the things, they wanted to plant food, grow food, you know. They wanted to learn solar energy, you know. They wanted to learn different energy sources that they could get away from the grid. They wanted to create our education systems for the youth, through our culture, traditions. And all of these things with the plant medicines, that we could take care of each other, self-sustainable with just what we have, living off the land. So this is what the goal was at Standard Rock. But to do this within our cultural settings. Like we have this pit house here. Like traditionally we have our pit houses in our area. Well, over there on the plains, they also have earth lodges, which is really similar. And they were, imagine a big circle of those all the way around, that all of their different tribes are represented, as well as the sweat lodges and different things. So this is the goal that was there. And I wanted to recognize LaDonna Brave Bull Allard. She just passed on this last week. And she was the one that was spearheading, you know, the Standard Rock movement. And when I came home from Standard Rock, I really wanted to do this because I've seen a lot of good things, positive things that help people. I didn't know what I was going to do with life, you know. And since I walked away from my job, I walked away from everything. I spent my retirement, everything. And I just trusted in faith in Creator. And that was hard. But my relatives invited me to travel with them across the nation. And they said, hey, they called me Uncle Dan. Uncle Dan, you come join us? We're on doing this tour with the Standard Rock Youth Runners. And this other band members, they call themselves the One Tribe Movement. And we were different ethnicities. And we were actually, all of us were arrested at Standard Rock. So I figured our claim to fame was we're the only band in the world that was arrested at Standard Rock. So, when we got up there, they said, Uncle Dan, will you get up here and say a few words? So they put me on stage, and I thought, well, what can I contribute? So they give me a flute. I want to recognize a local lady here, Dabra. I was just walking through here. I was down here at Cindy Rupert's yarn shop, and they were helping me, her and Sarah Cedars, and they formed a good crew together. I had like 2,000 envelopes that we were stuffing in, because crazy thing, I threw my name in for Tribal Business Council to be, you know, on our Colville tribe, and part of that whole campaign stuff is stuffing envelopes, writing letters. I don't like none of that. It's hard. So thankful to my sisters who helped me. And I just took a walk, my dogs, down to the water, and this beautiful lady named Dabra said, hey, I recognize you from YouTube, and I really like what you say, and I wanted to support you. And so she gave me this flute, so I'm going to do a quick flute song, you know, to honor her and honor you. On our journeys as we traveled across the nation, I've been through all the way from the East Coast, all the way down through Texas and California and up Canada, New York, and Hawaii. And I've just been called to go here and go there and to speak. And it ain't an easy thing, It's not an easy thing to do. But, I trust that Creator guides me everywhere I need to go and to learn. Because I've seen so many beautiful people and learned so many things. Like, for example, there's places I go and my own tribal people, don't go there, those people are this or that. And guess what? I go anywhere, I go anyhow. I want to learn, and that's how I got to meet many places. That's how I got to meet here, Methow people. One week I do the canoes, then we do call me to do the wild horse race, and I go into the sweat lodge next. The next week they asked me to come up here to the Saskatoon, to the Primitive Life Skills Camp, and that was my first time there that I went there. And at first I was whoa, and then after I got to meet people, whoa, this is cool, I really liked it, enjoyed it. The next week they say, hey, can you come over to the Fairy Congress? Anybody know where that is? And I was kind of freaked out. I was kind of scared, I was like, what am I going to do at the Fairy Congress? But I ended up staying 4 days up there. And, those fairies, they made me cry. Holy cow. I didn't believe they could do that, but they did. Then week after that, I went to the powwow. Then on the coast, then down into Oregon. Then I went to the Rainbow Family Gathering, and holy cow, man, that was something there. But it was cool. I really liked it, It was just cool to go and meet all these different people. Then we went to these big music festivals, like Burning Man and a lot of Rise music festivals, and just so on and so forth. But I really learned a lot, from all the different cultures and peoples and communities, that I've got to go into. And I think it's important, and because I love children. I really love children. I love our elderlies. I love the children. And my hope is to one day, promote, unity, just like what you see here represented. And my elderly man that I camped with at Standing Rock, his name was Wanase, and he's a beautiful, beautiful elder. And like I said, I was like one of those guys, like I was high strung, 9 to 5, and look at my time, and my whole concept was really strung out. And but he was calm demeanor, and he said, Likshay, he said, right here, this is where we are. And he pointed, we talked about Standing Rock. And those of you who might not have known of this is what they call a medicine wheel. And within this medicine wheel is representative of the 4 colors of mankind. And he pointed right here at the middle. He said, that's where we are, right here. He said, that is a place of unity. When all 4 colors come together and we meet right here. That this is a place of healing, a place of learning. And for far too long, the indigenous voice has been pushed aside. If you look way back when, even when I was a kid, if you look at the old Burt Lancaster movies and John Wayne movies and also and so forth, our Indian people were never perceived in a good way, So growing up as a young Indian boy, we were ashamed to be Indians, Stereotypes. We go to school, I had to learn, you know, the hard way, racism, you know, that happened, not only with the students, but with the teachers. Because back in those days, they could give you hacks, you know, it made you bend over and hack you, you know, and I know what that powder soap tastes like, you know, all you being locked in the closet, all those things. It made us cut our hair short, you know, and we had to look, you know, just like everyone else. You know, you get laughed at, teased, bullied, you know, if you Indian, you know, people go, woo, you know, it was hard. But this is where we are now. And even though there's COVID pandemic going on, this is a beautiful opportunity that we have right now to create peace, happiness, and hope for our children. And each one of you symbolize that by being here, you know, that you're here and listening, because this indigenous voice has been quieted, pushed aside, discredited, and often told from the perspective, you know, from a non-indigenous perspective. So for us to have an opportunity to speak is an honor, but it's also medicine. It's medicine, because we knew even through our stories that you would be here, our brothers and our sisters from around the world, that we knew you'd be here, and we would be here to help feed and help to share knowledge. And this is what's told to us from the very creation of time. A lot of things that are spoken of the land, the songs, our language. And in that way, this is what brought me encouragement to bring forth the Young Warrior Society, a place just like this where we have our cultural little village, we have medicine plants growing, we have permaculture, we're learning how to tan hides. So I want to get these guys over to help me out, you know. And if you go to my website, www.nanamkin.com, I have videos of there. So we've been doing this for 3 years. And my good friends, Harmony, Katie and them, you know, they showed up, you know, and I was pretty amazed. I was really amazed because, you know, tell you the truth, you know, you get a salmon that's gone rugged in your freezer, and you want freezer burnt, and you just like, you can toss it out, right? Well, in the Norwegian way, they skin it, and they can make it soft and supple like cotton, and they can make vests and clothing out of that. Yeah, that salmon, and it's like, woo. You know, that was pretty cool. And you know, we have elders that come up and teach how to do beadwork, how to make, you know, different things, items. We have people that show how to do compost. The Three Sisters Garden, like Sarah was teaching the children about Three Sisters Garden from her people, the Anishinaabe, you know, and people from all over, not only indigenous, but we have had, you know, non-indigenous people, you know, like Kenny, the goat guy, you know, he comes down and he brings his goats. The first year that we had camp, you know, we had people in buskin and dreadlocks and stuff, and showing up in our community. People are like, what's going on at Dad's house? But you know what? Those kids, they didn't see race. They didn't see how people look. They just seen that people were there to show them love, to show them new skills. And they love that. So next year, guess what? Where's that goat guy? Where's that goat guy? You know, they were loving that, you know. And that's what we got to show kids, how to not see barriers of race, you know, on how people look. Because each one of you have an ability, a skill, you know. Each one of you have knowledge. Each one of you have a story. Each one of you have your medicine, things that you've learned to inspire yourself through life. And that's all that we're trying to do, is bring hope